What's up, guys? Back here at Lee's Cycle in San Diego, our dealer in San Diego, with the Honda CBR1000RR-R SP, a whole lot of letters. This bike is gorgeous. Beautiful example right here. Look at these anchors. Brembos, the Marcassini forged when they come to cast. I mean, no expenses spared. Whole bunch of carbon. Acra. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous example right here. So what we're going to do real quick here is we're going to do stock, of course, then modified. And we're going to see exactly how much power we're going to gain here. So let's start first with the stock, because the US stock CBRs are almost laughable with how much power they make. So let's see what it does here. All right, all done with the stock runs, and you guys heard that. I mean, the bike sounds so restricted, it's laughable. I mean, it barely gets to the RPM range, and the actual dyno shows this. So I've ran it a few times, of course, so we're not just trying to give you a cold number. I rode the bike over here, so it was already warm. Started repeating a number at 169, but you can see this is power and torque, and we've just got a roller coaster here of restriction until the end here where it's just rolling off and rolling off. I mean, it doesn't actually hit the limiter until way up here, but you can see it just keeps on rolling off and rolling off. I mean, this bike, it'd be hard to get this thing to 160 on the freeway. I mean, it'd be really pressing itself. And look at this AFR, it's an absolute joke. I mean, this is horrid AFR right here. Bad, bad, bad. 15, what is this, 19 over here, or 18, it's almost hitting, spiking at 18. In the low range, over here it's 16.0, it starts evening out here at the very top. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get this thing tuned real quick. After we tune it, I'm going to show you guys the difference between stock and modded and see what we did. All right, we're back here with our post-flash results, and you can see right here, blue is going to be modified and red is that stock run. You can see how much improvement there is just by looking at how smooth the blue graph is versus that red roller coaster. And we're talking 30 wheel horsepower right here in the mid-range. Up top, another 30 wheel horsepower, and where it starts nodding off, about 30 wheel horsepower again. It's kind of crazy how much power there is, but you know, peak to peak, we're not gaining 30. You know, we're almost gaining 30. I mean, we're a few shy there, about 7 off from 30. But over here, we've got a completely different story over here as well. We're at 6-wheel torque, but you can see how much torque. This is actually the torque runs here. We have a different scaling on this side here from 90 versus that 220 over there. And you can see, I mean, how much torque we're just gaining right here. 75 versus 49. I mean, that's almost 30-wheel torque. That's a different bike, basically. We've cleaned up that AFR. Pull those restrictions off. No more top speed restrictions either. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and I'll go over right now exactly what we've done to this bike, not just the numbers. Now, other than the restrictions that we take off the bike, of course, we mess with the fuel and ignition maps. We can also do gear by gear exhaust valve, meaning in neutral, we can leave the exhaust valve closed if you guys probably in a neighborhood that maybe gets mad when you're warming up your motorcycle or something. And then gears 1 through 6, we can leave it wide open. Now, of course, at about 5,700 RPMs, this thing opens up anyway, but we can actually make it gear by gear, meaning if you guys wanted to cruise around the freeway in 6th gear, for example, and you wanted that exhaust valve closed, we can close it in 6th gear alone. So we have a lot of custom options for the bike. Not only that, but we've almost spent as much time on this bike as we have with our BMWs, or the most recent BMWs. And that's saying a lot. I mean, we've spent a lot of R&D process going through this bike, making sure everything's perfect. If you do different gearing, which anyone that has this bike knows, you pretty much have to do different gearing as soon as you get it because it's geared so long This one, for example, is a 1544. If you don't correct for that, the quick shifter is not going to work anymore. It's kind of wild. We also can correct traction control for different tire sizing. Let's say you're at the track. Let's say you have a taller profile tire, a wider profile. We can actually adjust the traction control for that as well. Not to mention our flashing process is about as easy as it goes. We'll send you a handheld. You're going to email us something. We're going to email you something. You're going to load it to the bike, and it's done. You can all do this from your garage. The easiest kind of tuning you can imagine for your bike. All in all, I'd say the gains speak for themselves. You guys see how smooth and clean that graph is. It changes this bike completely. This flash is probably the most worthwhile investment you can make on your RRR, to be honest with you. I mean, there's nothing that's going to give you this kind of gain, this kind of rideability, and this kind of versatility for a motorcycle when stock became so restricted and so bad, and now it's just so smooth. I think that's going to do it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.